Alrighty. Ka pai, so tahi ka tika me mihi atu ki a koe, te whaiwā ki te haramai ki te auka, ki te taua i a taua, ki te uiui i te kaupapa kai mua i a hau, me taku tirohanga. So thank you, Whaia, for taking this time to meet. I know it's been really, really difficult, but at least ko whaiwā i tēnei wā. So me kapo hia, so me kapo hia e nei miniti haora rānei, and ki te tutuki te kaupapa. So e rua nā wahanga. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. The first series of questions are just about as you as a mum. And then the next one series of questions you as a kaiako. Ka pai? Ka pai.
Aroha mai, I haven't had a chance to look at them, but so I'll just be replying.
Ka pai. Ka pai. Koe nā te mea nui.
Ka pai.
Nē reira, tēnā, me whakataki kia tātai, kia tātai kowai koe, e rā momo kōrero, nohia koe, me e rā tūāhuatanga. Ka pai?
Ka pai. Noi nai nei?
Ia.
Ai, ka pai, okay. Kia ora, ko Bethan Kuhunui tōku ingoa, ko hau te mama o Bethan Kuhunui. Ko tētahi tamati ki Apanui ki Whakatāni Kohanga Reo. Ko hau te tiamana o te kuahanga hoki, ka tia te matapahi te tau. No hia au, no Ngāti Awa hau. Ka tia. Oh, and kei te noho a Bethan i te tāki au noi nai nei, so I'm going to sound like I'm talking to multiple people. Ka tia.
Ka pai. Pehea e rā watu o tamariki.
Bethan Kuhunui.
Yeah, and what about other tamariki?
Ka pai. So we'll start with Raira Kuhunui, Makaia Duggan, Wharipapa Kuhunui, and Paura Kuhunui. And Bethan Kuhunui, they have all gone through Apanui ki Whakatāni Kohanga Reo.
Ka pai. Just taking a step back for when the boys were at Kohanga, and just capturing about their journey when they finished at Kohanga and their transition to kura at that time.
Oh, ka pai. So there were differences with my two eldest, that's Raira and Makaia. When they left Apanui ki Whakatāni, they went to Apanui Primary School, which is a mainstream school. At that time, we put them in there because they had what was called a bilingual unit. So our whakaaro was that they would still be getting some reo, but also te ao Pākehā hoki. The transition, from what I remember, I think they had maybe one or two visits that came down to us implementing those as parents and organising that with the kura. That's going back a while, so I don't remember if the kohanga came to whakatau them into kura or anything like that. I don't remember that. I think they may have had a different approach to tamariki coming into kura. With Wharipapa and Paura, they went to te kura, Wharipapa went to te kura o te Pārua, Paura is still there. The transition there, I think it was similar, but also what I believe, if I remember correctly, is that some tamariki and kaiako went to their pōwhiri, because they had a pōwhiri to welcome them to the kura as being new akonga, which was really cool.
Oh, cool.
So those were differences between mainstream and kura kaupapa nera.
Yeah, ka pai. Just want to explore the roles during those during transition time. So what I know you mentioned a few of them, but what were some of the roles of the kohanga during those times in transition? Did they have
For
any
my
influence?
for my big boys, not so much. Not to the point that it stands out, to be honest. But that's going back a good 14 years.
Okay.
14, 15 years. So there were different kaiako in then too, eh?
Yeah.
And it was, it was a lot of more whānau orientated to figure out where to put them into kura.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it was more for back then for us, the kōrero of where they were going to go to kura really came down to whānau. And the influences of our whānau rather than the kohanga. But for my next two boys, because I wasn't particularly happy with how much reo they were my two elders were getting, that changed my whakaaro to send in my next two boys to Te Kura o Te Pāroa, to a kura kaupapa, kei roto i te Rumaki hoki. There was a bit of kōrero around that. At that stage, Te Ōreni was new, like a new whakaaro as far as our whānau was concerned, as a wharekura. They were still very iti. So, again, I think the majority of that decision, the majority of the kōrero came down to whānau again. However, there was some kōrero going on with our kohanga as well.
Right. Kapai, what about the school? The schools, what roles did they have in the transition time?
So for both Apanui and Te Kura o Te Pāroa, they encouraged us to have visits with our boys into the classroom that they were going to be going into. I think it was only maybe two or three visits for each of those, which for when you're full-time working is quite hard to implement. Like, it's quite hard to do that, to get the time off to take your tamaiti to help them transition into kura. So there can be a challenge sometimes for whānau to be able to make that time to take their tamaiti in.
Kapai, and what about your role or the whānau's role in that transition? What sort of things did you have to do?
So yeah, like I was saying before, we've had to, for our previous four tamariki that have transitioned into kura, we have had to find the time to be able to take them in for visits, which sometimes is quite challenging as, some places don't see the importance of transition, I guess, the importance of transition of our tamariki into kura. When it came to sending our next two boys to kura kaupapa, that was predominantly my choice. And I was basically told that my whānau had faith in my decision because I'm a teacher. And because it was something new to us then, it was a bit scary, or I was having to have faith that this was going to work out for our boys.
Kapai. So the next lot of questions, just because we know we're preparing Bethan for her transition. So how are you feeling preparing her for this transition, or yourself even?
So this one's different, because the fact that she's going to be attending a kura that I work at. So I'm already, aroha mai. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy, I've just had to turn my car off. So I'm already talking to her kaiako that she's going to be having and trying to put little steps in place. And in regards to visitations, it'll be easier because, quite frankly, she's going to spend the day at Kura.
Mm.
Because then I won't have to worry about trying to get her there and then drop her back off to Kohanga.
Ka pai. Awesome.
And so the teacher that I've been talking with, her kaiako that she's going to have is all good with that. She said, "Oh, all good. If she comes for the day, she can come in and out as she pleases."
Oh, cool. So
Um,
what kind of aspirations do you have for Bethan as she's preparing for kura?
so, what I would love for her to be able to do is have a little bit of a like I don't know, I guess a little bit of a head start in regards to being able to count to 10, kei roto i te reo Māori, write her name if possible. But you know, those things are an advantage. If we can get our tamariki ready with those sorts of things of being able to write their name and count a little bit and recognise some shapes, then they're going to start et cetera really well.
Mm.
Ka
Ka pai.